All right, guys, let's be honest. Have you ever sat down, told yourself, I should practice English, and then just didn't?
You may think, I'll do it later, and suddenly it's bedtime, and you've done nothing.
Exactly. We always wait to feel ready. But let's be real. If we wait for motivation, we might be waiting forever.
Yeah, motivation is so unpredictable. One day, you're excited to learn. The next, you'd rather scroll through your phone for hours.
Right. And that's the trap. Motivation comes and goes, but progress happens when you take action, not when you feel like it.
So true. I mean, think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up wondering, do I feel inspired to do this today? You just do it.
And learning English should be the same. No overthinking, no waiting for the perfect moment. Just start.
So if you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, but I don't feel like studying today, well, that's exactly why you should do it.
So here's the thing. We all know that feeling of resistance when it's time to study or practice English. But have you ever wondered why it's so hard to just get started?
Oh, for sure. It's like my brain just goes into avoid mode. Like, I'll find any excuse not to start.
Yeah, it's because our brains are actually wired for comfort. It's like a built-in safety mechanism. Your brain wants to avoid anything that feels difficult or uncomfortable, like speaking in English or studying grammar.
That makes so much sense. Our brains are basically saying, hey, let's not do that tough thing. Let's stick with what feels good, like watching a show.
Exactly. It's the same thing when you try to jump into a cold pool. You hesitate because you know it's going to be uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, I'll stand there forever just thinking about how cold it's going to be. But once you finally jump in, it's like, not as bad as you imagined.
And that's exactly how it works with hard tasks like learning English. The hardest part is taking that first step. Once you start, it's not nearly as bad as your brain made it seem.
So true. I always think, ugh, I don't feel like practicing today. But once I start listening to a podcast or reading, it gets easier.
Right. And it's all about momentum. The more action you take, the easier it gets. That initial resistance, it fades away as soon as you take that first step.
So it's like you're building up energy the more you practice. And then, before you know it, it just feels natural.
So, the key takeaway here is, don't wait for the feeling of motivation. Just start, and the momentum will kick in.
So, whether it's speaking English or studying vocabulary, just dive in. You'll be surprised how much easier it gets once you get going.
All right, let's get into a trick that can really help break that resistance. The 2-minute rule. Ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. It's about committing to just 2 minutes of something.
Exactly. Here's the idea. Tell yourself you'll only do something for 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes of reading a paragraph, listening to 1 minute of English, or writing a quick message.
That sounds so simple, but it makes sense. It's like you're tricking your brain. Instead of thinking, ugh, I have to study for an hour, you just start small.
Your brain loves to overthink and make things seem bigger than they really are. But when you say, I'll only do this for 2 minutes, it takes the pressure off.
And here's the thing. Once you start, you'll probably end up doing more than 2 minutes. Because after the first few seconds, you're already in the zone.
Yep, momentum kicks in. That's what's awesome about this rule. You're just setting yourself up to begin. And once you're started, it feels easier to keep going.
It's like once you've got the ball rolling, you can't help but keep pushing it forward. I've done this with my English practice, and before I know it, I'm at 20 minutes.
And you don't feel stuck thinking about how much time it's going to take. The key is not to give your brain time to overthink.
So, just dive in for 2 minutes and let the action take care of the rest. It's like tricking yourself into starting.
Next, let's talk about making English learning a habit you just do. No excuses. You ever think about how we don't question things like brushing our teeth?
Oh, for sure. It's just something I do every day, no matter how I feel. I never wake up thinking, do I feel like brushing my teeth today?
And that's the mindset you want for learning English. Don't ask yourself, do I feel like practicing today? Just make it a non-negotiable part of your day.
Oh, I get it. So instead of saying, I'll try to learn English today, you shift it to, I am someone who learns English every day.
Yep, exactly. It's all about shifting your identity. When you see yourself as someone who learns English, it becomes less of a choice and more of a natural part of your routine.
That's powerful. I think when you believe you are a learner, it's easier to make that commitment, even on the days when you're not feeling motivated.
Right. And when you make it non-negotiable, you're removing the decision-making process. You don't have to think, do I feel like it? Because you've already decided this is what I do.
I love that. And little habits build up over time. You don't have to start big. Just a few minutes of English every day can become automatic.
You start small, and before you know it, learning English feels as natural as brushing your teeth.
And the cool thing is, once it becomes a habit, you don't need to motivate yourself. It's just what you do.
That's the key. So make it non-negotiable and start building those small, consistent habits. It's the little things that add up. Let's dive into something super important. Removing the choice. Willpower, it's unreliable. You can't always rely on it to get things done.
That's so true. Some days my willpower is strong and other days it's, well, not so much.
So, instead of relying on willpower, you create systems that make things easier for you. For example, set a fixed time every day to practice English.
I love that. It's like you don't even have to think about it. You just know that at 5 p.m. you're practicing English, no questions asked.
It's just part of your day. And you can set your environment up to support that, like leave an English book or app open on your phone so it's right there when you need it.
Oh, that's such a good one. I always tell myself, I'll practice later, and then I forget. But if I just open an app in the morning, I'll remember to practice.
Yup. When it's right in front of you, there's no excuse. And if you want to really stick with it, join a study group or find someone to keep you accountable.
Accountability is huge. I feel way more motivated when someone else is expecting me to show up and do the work.
When you don't leave the choice up to yourself and you've built systems, learning English becomes easier and more automatic.
So, set up your environment, create habits, and get support from others. That way, you're not relying on your willpower anymore.
It's all about making learning English as easy as possible, and systems do just that. All right, this next tip is a game changer, the countdown method. Have you ever hesitated when trying to speak English?
Oh, definitely. I get this wave of doubt, and then I just freeze, wondering if I'm saying things right.
That's where the countdown comes in. You count down from 5 to 1, and then, without thinking, you take action.
Oh, I love that. So, the countdown interrupts your brain's overthinking and forces you into motion. You don't give yourself time to talk yourself out of it.
Yup, exactly. It's a way to trick your brain into just doing it instead of getting stuck in hesitation. It's especially useful for speaking practice.
Yes. Before the self-doubt takes over, you just start talking. It's like a little mental hack to get yourself going.
That's right. And it's so effective. You'll be surprised at how quickly you can break through hesitation when you start using the countdown method.
I can totally see how it would work. It gives you that little push to stop thinking and just act. And that's how you make progress.
So, next time you're hesitating or doubting yourself, try the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just go for it.
I'm going to try this today. It sounds like a simple but powerful way to move past those moments of fear.
For sure, it's all about getting out of your head and into action. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Now, let's talk about rewards, because who doesn't love a little treat for their hard work? But here's the trick. Reward yourself after you finish a task, not before.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm guilty of thinking, I'll start after I have a snack. But that just leads to more procrastination.
If you reward yourself before you start, your brain starts associating rewards with procrastination. Instead, make sure the reward comes after the work is done.
Right. Like, after 15 minutes of English practice, I could give myself a small break or a snack. That makes the effort feel worth it.
Or if you finish a podcast episode, you can reward yourself with something like watching a show. Bonus points if it's in English.
Oh, I love that. Watching a show in English after finishing a task sounds like the perfect reward, and it keeps the learning going.
The idea is to train your brain to associate effort with positive outcomes. The more you do that, the easier it will be to get motivated next time.
It's like building a good habit. You start to look forward to the reward, and that makes getting started easier.
Definitely. So remember, reward yourself after the work is done, not before. It'll make learning feel more rewarding in the long run.
I'm going to try this for sure. It's a simple change, but I can already see how it would work.
All right, last but definitely not least, embracing discomfort. I know it sounds a little counterintuitive, but hear me out. Discomfort means growth.
That's so true. It's like when speaking English feels awkward or hard. It's actually a sign that I'm improving, right?
If you're feeling challenged, that means you're stretching your abilities. It's not supposed to feel easy. Growth happens when we push ourselves past our comfort zone.
I love that perspective. It's like reframing mistakes. Instead of thinking, I failed, I could think, I'm learning faster by making mistakes.
100%. And when you feel stuck, don't see it as a setback. See it as expanding your skills. Every time you push through that difficulty, you're getting better.
Wow, I never really thought about it like that. Struggling is actually part of the process. It's like a signal that you're growing.
And here's the big takeaway. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, it's action. Taking action even when it's hard.
That's powerful. So, next time I feel uncomfortable learning English, I'm going to remember that it means I'm getting stronger and better.
That's the spirit. Embrace that discomfort because it's part of the journey to mastering English and anything else in life.
I love that mindset. I'm definitely going to focus on taking action, even when it's tough. It makes the hard moments feel more rewarding.
So, to wrap it all up, start small, make it a habit, remove choice, use countdowns, and reward yourself. Simple steps, but they really add up.
Absolutely. These tips will make English learning feel more natural and a lot less overwhelming.
And remember, every bit of action gets you closer to your goals. So, go ahead, take that first step, even if it's just for 2 minutes.
You got this. Keep pushing through and you'll see amazing progress.